So back to playing with charts. A common type of chart that's made with kids is called a stem and leaf plot. And you won't often see them in publications. They're mostly used as an educational tool to get kids in the flow of making graphics, because they're not too hard to make. You use a stem and leaf plot when you have multi-digit data. So the data I'm going to use to do this is from the average person that we played with before. So I had asked people to take that survey that's called About You, where I asked for age, gender, hair color, eye color, and so on. I will share this version with you all here. And for those of you online, I'll put the link to this in the description of the video. So copy. So if you check out the chat now or the description of the video in the future, you'll have the link to this document. So this is the raw data from the form that people were filling out for me. And people started filling it out in 2018. I've been using this in my stats class and my Math for Elementary School Teachers Part 3 class. And I have 130 entries so far as of this morning. Whenever you take a Google form, Google gives you the option to take the data from the form and stick it in a spreadsheet for you. The first tab is always going to be, so if somebody fills out the survey tonight, they'll appear in line 132, and the next person will appear in line 133. So we don't want to mess with the first tab. So what I usually do is I duplicate this tab, and that's where this second one comes from, the copy. All right, so I have the same data in the copy, but this one I can mess around with. Last class I mentioned, when you have a place where somebody can type their own answer, sometimes people type stuff that's a problem. Like I have dark brown with a lowercase d and dark brown, or that's blonde, but with an uppercase D. I have black, I have blonde with a lowercase b, and then I have blonde with a capital B. And the computer will treat capital blonde different than lowercase blonde when it counts things. So often, if it wasn't a select button or a select menu where people type, you have to figure out how to clean up that data after. So if we go over to the next column here, the next tab here called Gender Eyes, then here I have a cleaned up version of the data. So anywhere that somebody had a lowercase, I made it capital. And then some people did blue-green versus green-blue. I just decided to make those blue-green. So I had to make a few decisions about how to change what people entered. And so in the end, I have a few different options for eye color: blue, hazel, green, brown, blue-green, gray, and null means they didn't enter anything, it was just blank. And that's a common computer term for zero, nothing, for text. So what I want to do here is I want to show you how, sorry, this is my second example. We'll come back to this one. I'm going to show you how to count these things right here in kind of a clever way. What I want, here we go, is some heights. So I'm going to zoom out on this just for a sec and show you how to make a stem and leaf plot on this. I think I got it all. Screenshot. Helps that if they're in order, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're going to use the sum heights to make a stem and leaf plot. And the stem is the second to last digit, and the leaf is the last digit. So for us here, the stem is going to be the tens place, and the leaf is going to be the ones place. And so then we make a table for that, usually by just drawing a vertical line. And then I look through my list and it looks like I don't have any 50s here. The lowest is a 60. So I want to keep track of the 60s and the 70s. And I think that's all I have to keep track of. And then we just write in order the ones place for each one we see. So the smallest one I see is down here. I have a 60. So I'm going to put a 0 there for the 60. Are there any other 60s in the list? I don't see any. So then I would move to look for 61. And I have 161. So I'm going to put a 1 there. And that's the only 61 I see. I see a 62. So I put a 2 next. So we only write the stem, the tens place, once, and then we just list the ones places in order, and if they repeat, we write the repeats too. So let's see, I don't think I see any other 62s, but I see a few 63s. So there's one 63 there. There's another 63 here, so I put another 3. And are there any more? Nope. Do I have any 64s? So it's usually a good idea to sort these so they're easier to spot, otherwise you have to erase and redraw. This is a stem and leaf. All right, so then 66.
Gary, you're missing 165.
Oh, you're right. Okay, good job. Thank you. And then I think I had 2 66s right here and here. And I think we got them. 67. Another 67. 68. So it's a form of a bar chart we end up with. And a 69. I think I got all the 60s. So then I move on to the 70s. And we want to make sure each digit in one row lines up with each digit in the other. So the first 0 lines up with that one. And then next one lines up with the 1. Next one lines up with the 2. I have a fourth one there that should line up with that 3. And then I have a 71. So this would be the stem and leaf plot for those 20 heights. Oops, did I miss a 71? Or was that just the last one? I think that was just the last one. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so it's likely I got them all. Thank you for fixing the one I missed there. This is a stem and leaf plot. I didn't ask you to make one for the activity, but it is a graph that you will see when you're working with kids and data in different grades. And it's like a bar chart, and we have to decide on what the stem is, and the leaf is always the last digit, whatever that happens to be. It's usually the ones digit. Okay, so next,